Okay, ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Friday, TGIF. Hope you are all doing well. Chris Phillips here of the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show. We are live here on a Friday, taking your questions, your comments, and your calls. I'm just checking, making sure the microphone is working. We've got a new cord in the mail, by the way. We've got a new cord in the mail. I know we've been having some technical issues. I've been fighting through it, battling through it, but we've got a new cord in the mail, thank goodness. So we should be good moving forward, but let's hope we can just get through today. I'm going to try to not touch anything, and hopefully we are good to go for the day. I see Andrew the Textbook, Brendan M., Cody Gaskins, Ben DeRosa, Noah Johns, Rebecca. How's it going? Appreciate you all tuning. Also, all those in the Big Cock Club Discord. What's going on? Y'all head over to TDC Questions. The TDC Questions channel. Be sure your questions are answered there. Also, of course, guys, as always, the Daily Crow is brought to you by our friends over at Carolina Ale House. Be sure to go to your local Carolina Ale House, whether it be, let's see if I can name off all the locations, whether it be in Augusta, Columbia in Harbison, downtown Greenville, Woodruff Road, Myrtle Beach, Fort Mill, or Somerville. There we go, all 7. I got them down. Again, guys, they got cold beer on tap. They got great food. It is the #1 spot. It is the place. If you're a Gamecock fan, and of course, we're throwing watch parties for all the road games, but if you're looking for somewhere to watch sports, doesn't even matter if it's Gamecocks or not, it is the place to go. So again, guys, be sure to check out our friends over at Carolina Ale House and follow them on social media. All their locations have individual Instagrams, individual Twitters, all that good stuff. Be sure to go follow them on social media. We're always promoting them. And again, guys, I can't say enough good things about those fine folks over at Carolina Ale House, what they do for us. And also be sure to check the dates when we're coming to your city for the TSUS Tour, which starts in late July. Again, guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you all so much. I see Alan as well. DGD, what's going on? I think DGD said he's got some exciting news today. Hey, it's an exciting day and a great day to have a day here on this Friday. Guys, podcast dropped this morning as well. Episode, I don't even want to say it out loud, episode 666. Oof. It's a good one, though, for that number. It's a good one. We talked top 5 linebackers in the history of South Carolina football. Also, the drama, by the way, that has taken over the last 24 hours or so with this Antonio Williams thing and him getting kicked out of the Gamecocks facility, which, you know what? Round of applause. Let's give a kudos to Justin Stepp, Shane Beamer, all those who saw Antonio Williams in the facility and said, you know what? Get your fucking ass out of here. Get your orange and purple fucking ass out of here. It is wild to me, the amount of people that think that's crazy or South Carolina is petty or they're classless. You know what? Maybe Carolina is petty, but I'm going to start on that. Let's start with that topic. People think Carolina is petty. Shane Beamer is petty. Justin Stepp is petty. Fine. On the flip side, have you ever thought about this, guys? These prospects are treated like gods in recruiting, right? These coaches worship the ground they walk upon, give them every favor and request to try to get them to come to their school. Have you ever thought maybe, you have the Jayshon Barham thing happen, and then we hear stories about what Antonio Williams did, dangling the carrot in front of Carolina's coaching staff until the very end when Clemson came up and offered. And here, let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from
Taylor. My guy interrupted me in mid-rant, but that's fine.
1
Here we go.
to send a voicemail.
Taylor, what's up, man? How are you?
Good. How about you, man?
I'm doing well, man. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
Man, I was just listening to the show, man, and I don't know about you. I thought it was absolutely wonderful that Antonio Williams got kicked out of the facility yesterday. And I agree with everything you're saying about how they're like treated like God almost. These prospects, they get everything handed to them. I mean, I thought it was great that Beamer just said, get out of here,
I mean, yes, and somebody just commented, and I agree, Cody Gaskins, it's like you're no longer what's their mascot? Silver Foxes, I think, Dutch Fork. Is that what it is? Silver Foxes?
Yeah.
It's like you're no longer a silver fox, you're a tiger. There's no reason a Clemson guy should be in our facility. None. I don't care if his high school's playing. I don't care what's going on. Like, I would think it was weird if a Carolina guy was at the Clemson facility. Heck, I thought it was weird, and this might even be over the top. I thought it was weird last year people might not recall this, but of course, since we're plugged into social media 24/7, you might recall J.C. Horn and Israel Mukuamu, I think this was 2 years ago, posting pictures of them working out outside of Clemson's football stadium. And I thought that was weird. I'm like, why are you in the upstate working out? Why are you up there doing that? And they weren't even in the facility. So it's like, yeah, bro, I would think it was very strange if one of our guys was at their place. You know what I mean? So.
Oh yeah, and I don't see why the Gamecock fans are all been out of shape about it, because like I don't want that guy in there. He didn't commit to us. I mean, why would we want him in there?
Yeah. Are there Gamecock fans that are getting bent out of shape about it? I haven't seen that. I've seen a lot of Clemson people.
Well, I've seen Clemson people too, but I've read stuff on Facebook that were classless, kind of stuff like that. But
well, you know what?
I mean,
thank God we have a spine. Thank God we have a spine. That's fine. I can live with that. I can live with us having a spine. Hey, you know what? This rivalry needs some juice in it. This rivalry needs a kick in the ass, because I'll be honest with you, it's gotten stale because Clemson has dominated it, and they're starting to dominate it across all sports. Nobody wants to hear that, but it's true. The rivalry has gotten stale. So you know what? You know what? The rivalry is more fun when it's nasty and it's got some juice, man. There's some vitriol in there. There's some bad blood in there. It's not a bad thing. Like, I'm fine with it. I'm completely fine with it. Don't go over the top, but I'm fine with it, man. This rivalry needs that juice. It needs that kick in the ass. So, bro, you are a Clemson Tiger. You got
DJ Swearinger.
Yeah, you're a Clemson Tiger, bro. You got no business being in our facility. I mean, it's not even like, to me, it's not even like a hot take. It's not even like a debatable topic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, they're like, as I was saying right when you called, you know, the whole like their kids excuse, it just gets old, bro. It gets old. Like, that doesn't mean just because you're a quote unquote kid, that don't mean you can fuck over a coaching staff and get away with it. Like, fuck you, get out of the facility. We don't want the Williams in our facility. That's it. That's it. You should have thought about all this before you acted the way you did. That's it. Like, that's it, bro.
Well, Andy kind of committed like it was a bad thing. Like, everyone thought he was a Carolina lock, you know.
There's a lot more to the story that we don't know. That I can just tell you that the coaching staff, he really, I mean, and again, it's these guys. You can go wherever you want. You can commit wherever you want. You can pull a fast one however you want. You can pull the rug out from somebody. You can be Jay-Sean Barham. You can be Antonio Williams. Live with the decision, though. I mean, you just can't think you're gonna pull the rug out from Carolina and their coaching staff the way you did, and then just waltz up in the facility like nothing happened. You just can't do it. So shame on Antonio Williams. Shame on the parents for not knowing better. Hey, you made your decision, cool, but don't come to USC and act like it's all Gucci. It's not. It's bad blood. It's bad blood. That's it. And we'll resolve our differences on the field November 26th. That's what we'll do. But in the meantime, don't come to Columbia. Don't come waltzing around like nothing happened, because it did. It did. You know.
Oh, it did.
There are for every action there is a consequence. For every action there is an equal or opposite reaction. So you fucked us over, we're gonna say fuck you. That's it. We're not gonna be the bigger person. We're not gonna be the bigger person. I like what Shannon Sharp said before. If you gotta always be the bigger person, stop hanging around with small people. Antonio Williams, we don't need to be the bigger person. I mean, bro, Clemson fans are up here preaching on their high horse. Isn't it Dabo Swinney that said he won't even let kids take official visits to other schools if they're committed to Clemson? That's how petty he is. So, I mean, what are we talking about? What are we talking about?
I know.
What are we talking about? I don't care if you want to go to Clemson, fine, but don't be acting like walking around like it's all Gucci that, you know, no, the doors are closed to you, sir. Maybe once you're done at Clemson, maybe we can, you know, put down the knives and resolve our differences. But in the meantime, you chose your path and you went about it in a way that you burned bridges. And maybe you can learn a lesson from that. But no, I got no issues. I actually applaud Beamer and Stepp for what they did, or whoever the heck it was that had the say in kicking him out of the facility. Bro, what if was he wearing Clemson stuff? Did we know that? I mean, bro, it just, I'm good on that. I'm good on that, man. Nope.
I tell you though, it's with all the Clemson baseball commits, it's kind of like getting more juice in the rivalry. I feel like, you know, more fans getting bent out of shape. You know, it's gonna be good come November. You know.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think the big thing that's going to bring juice back to the rivalry is we beat them. That's the big thing.
Well,
That's what needs to happen. You know, when a rivalry is one sided, it's not much of a rivalry. You know, so you know, that's just unfortunate, but it's the truth. So there's, you know, we don't talk a lot of junk to Vandy fans, right? Well, because it's a one sided contest. You know, there's no point, right? Mm-hmm. The teams you hate are the teams you don't beat every year. You know what I mean? Like when it's back and forth. Hey, Gamecock fans have grown to hate Missouri and Kentucky. Why? Those aren't traditional rivals for us. Well, it's because they've been beating us. So, no, yeah, I mean, I you know, again, I applaud and give kudos to Shane Beamer and company for having a backbone.
Mm-hmm. Well, thanks for taking my call. I saw we got a lineman here today.
Yeah, big pickup. I'm excited for that.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But take care, man.
Appreciate it, my man. Thanks so much for calling. Yeah, great stuff. As you can tell, I'm passionate about this subject. Let's see. Taylor from Dirty Myrtle checks in. He says, in reference to Williams, his stepdad, Murphy Holloway, kind of pulled a stunt with us, transferred in for a year from Ole Miss, sat, and then went back to Ole Miss. Let's see. Here we go. Tanner Land says we should not have kicked him out of the facilities. Who knows? This kid may transfer to us with the way the portal is nowadays. I mean, Tanner, at some point, though, man, you can't just – do you always have to be the bigger person? Do you always have to be the bigger person, my man? Do you? There's more players out there, Tanner. There's more. This ain't Jerry Rice. This is Antonio Williams. You know, this ain't Odell Beckham. It's Antonio Williams. At some point, coaches get tired of getting pulled around and jerked around and getting screwed over. I can't blame them. That's why I don't invest in recruiting the way some others do. I just, you know, I have no interest in it. I feel for college coaches, bro, that what they have to do, what they got to go through. I feel for college coaches. Brandon Wagner, this is here, let me throw this up here. This is a beautiful way to put it. Brandon Wagner says that's the equivalent of staying in a girl's friend zone because you think she might pick you one day if you're nice enough. That is poetic, Brandon. That is poetic. No truer words have been spoken. It's like, oh, we can't hurt the kid's feelings. You know, he might transfer here one day. We don't know. To hell with it, bro. To hell with it. You screw us over. We don't want you then. You know, if you go to Clemson and you oh, man, you know what? I should have went to Carolina. Well, too bad. Too bad. We'll get somebody else. We don't need you to transfer in. All we got's all we need mentality. Why would you want a guy who's burned you in the way that kid burned you already? And again, we just, in recruiting, people use this, well, they're just kids excuse. They're just kids. Well, if they're just kids, then shame on the parents. You know what I mean? Shame on the adults in the room. Like I said, I applaud Shane Beamer and Justin Stepp. Coaches get jerked around in these recruiting cycles now. They get jerked around by prospects, and all they're doing, all coaching staffs are doing is just kissing the ground they walk upon and making them feel like they're the greatest thing ever, right? And Carolina invested all their time and their resources into this Antonio Williams kid, right? And how does he repay them? At the last second, pulls the rug out from under him, doesn't even have the courtesy to give him a call, and commits to Clemson. And that's fine. That's fine. You can do that. Again, you can be Jayshon Barham. You can be Antonio Williams. But understand, there are consequences that come with those actions. And so the consequence of Antonio Williams fucking over our coaching staff is him not being welcome at the facilities anymore. And I completely understand it and encourage it. I think that's great. You are a Clemson Tiger. You have no business being in our facility. None. No business. I don't care if your high school's there. I don't care if your girlfriend's there. I don't care if your buddies are there. You got no business. It is a rivalry. Whether players care anymore or not, whatever, but it is a rivalry. You're either garnet and black or you're orange and purple. There is no in between here. Once you pick a side, you stay on that side. And I know I say that almost tongue in cheek because what we are seeing with the baseball stuff. Hey, the rivalry means more to fans than it does to players. It means more to fans than it does to players. That's always been true, and it always will be true. There's plenty of guys that grew up Clemson fans that became Gamecocks, and there's guys that grew up Gamecocks that became Clemson players, right? It happens. But I give kudos to Beamer, to Justin Stepp, to those that, you know, bro, you screwed us over. We're not just going to let you waltz around here like nothing happened. It did. Live with it. Live with it. Live with it. Lance, what's up, my guy? Appreciate you tuning in. What's up, Travis Allen? Taking your questions, comments, calls. T-Man, yeah. No in between. No in between in the rivalry. No in between. You can be Jay Sean Barham. You can be Antonio Williams. You can function however you want as a prospect in recruiting. But at some point, coaches get sick and tired of being jerked around by these guys. You're not Jerry Rice. You're Antonio Williams. Stop acting like you are. Who gives a shit, right? But it's the way you went about it. So don't be surprised when you're not welcomed back with open arms. Yeah, it's welcome home. The culture's welcome home, love, all that good stuff until you screw us over. And then it's to hell with you, especially when you go to Clemson. To hell with you. We'll see you November 26th. Not only do I think it was the right move, I encourage it. I hope if another Clemson guy tries to come in our facility for whatever reason, I hope Beamer does it again. I hope Beamer does it again. Because I can damn sure guarantee you Clemson would do the exact same thing if we had a guy trying to go up in their 7-on-7 camps. And I would question what our guy was doing up there. So I don't understand the people that think that was some crazy move or, oh, it's petty. It's a bad look for Carolina. Yeah, it's petty, but he screwed us over. Coaches get tired of being the bigger person, the bigger man. Like you just can't, like, there's this dynamic in college sports, right? There's this dynamic in recruiting that is, oh, well, they're amateurs and we've got to be so nice to them and we got to kiss the ground they walk upon. And, oh, we're so grateful for you choosing our school. Thank God you would choose us, lowly Carolina. Thank God you would pick us. Bro, you'd be lucky to play ball here. Very few get to play SEC football. You would be lucky to get a scholarship offer here. And the University of South Carolina will be around a lot longer than you are going to be around. Your lifespan as a college athlete will be 3 to 4 years, maybe 5. The University of South Carolina will keep trucking. So no one guy, no prospect, no player, no coach is bigger than the program. None. And it comes to a point, you let a kid know you want him. Hey, we think we can get, we can do big things with you on our side, right? We can develop you. You can get a great education. You can play SEC football. You can win. We're building something special. You are important to us. And our staff did that. By all accounts, our staff did that. But yeah, I mean, you're not going to sit here and beg a guy like, please, we're nothing without you. Give me a break, dude. And then you choose the rival and people expect you to act like nothing happened and be, oh, it's okay. You can come back and just come in our facility and watch your high school and, rub shoulders and let's act like nothing happened. Like, no, to hell with that. To hell with that. To hell with that. Live with the decision, bro. Live with the decision. Don't be waltzing up into Willie B. Don't be waltzing up in the indoor like nothing happened. So I love it. I hope to see more of it. I love it. I love it. Shane Beamer for fucking president, my guy. Shane Beamer for Heisman. Justin Stepp for Heisman. Like, anyways, we're taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. I've been going on a rant today. Jonathan Lee, yeah, let's get it going. Beamer 2024. I'm down. I'm game. Not to dive into the political side of things because I'm not a political guy, but I think Beamer would be a better candidate than anybody we got going. Sorry if that hurts anybody's feelings. I mean, just saying. Let's see. Anyways, we did get let's talk about the guys who are actually Gamecocks that aren't scumbags. We did get a commitment this morning. JUCO offensive lineman. What's his name again? Isaiah Jatta. I believe that's how you say it. But what I more so see is 6'6", 310 pounds. And I'll tell you guys this, it's meant as no slight to anybody that's committed, but I think I'm almost more excited about this commitment than any of the other ones. I mean, we need big guys. We need these big dudes on the line. So I love seeing this addition. You like getting JUCO guys. And I think back to when Steve Spurrier was coaching and the way they were able to build. And, of course, you get the majority of the high school guys. But when you can land a JUCO dude, man, I mean, Jarrell King was a guy that was a JUCO dude. I'm just trying to think off the top of my head. We had some really good JUCO guys come in and play really good football for us. You know what I mean? So I'm excited. I love seeing these JUCO guys. I love seeing these JUCO guys. He should be an immediate contributor, should be a guy that immediately is on the 2 deep. And again, 6'6", 310, that is a big human being. So he should be able to help us. I think that's a big pickup for Greg Atkins. Let's see. John Gibbs says, yeah, some people don't get it. It's Gamecocks or Tigers. You can't have both. I applaud what happened. Clem Sucks would have done the same thing, and they act as if they wouldn't. Yeah, to hell with them. I'm trying to watch my language. Jeff Gullidge, over under, we get 4 welcome homes this week, and I'll say under, we get 3. I'll say under 3. 4 is a lot. I mean, I hope we get 10. Tyler Knoll says, here we go. Or lie to step to his face up until signing day because Clemson offers you, and the reason why they offered is their original guy they wanted went elsewhere. We didn't need you anyway. He deserved all of what he got. All we got is all we need. Yeah, I mean, Tyler, that's it. I can, those that are out there saying, oh, that, that's petty. You know what? At least we have a spine. Thank God. I'd rather us have a spine and be petty than be pushovers. I really would. Thank goodness. How about a little attitude, a little swag? Bring back some of that Swearinger. A little bit of swag. A lot of this rivalry is mental. A lot of the rivalry is mental. Think back when Carolina won 5 in a row. We knew we were going to win. We knew we were in their head. Dabo was falling apart. Tweet that. He was doing all that because he knew he was outclassed. He was outmatched. Talking about the real University of South Carolina is in Clemson. The only reason he went on that rant because he was in the midst of a 5-game losing streak and he knew he had no answer for Steve Spurrier and what South Carolina was doing. Mental. It's mental. And give Clemson credit. Over the last 7 victories, they have not only had the roster edge, the talent edge, they've had the mental edge. Carolina has gone in those games expecting defeat. You can say I'm wrong, but think about it. Happened in a game against Clemson I felt good about. So maybe changing the mental side. Changing up the mentality a little bit. Yeah, you got to go to their place this fall. Whatever. We should expect to win. At least, at minimum, the vibe in the building should be we are marking that off as a W. Flat out, we are marking that off as a victory. That is a win in our book. We are expecting to win that ballgame. I'm not saying you are, right? We can sit here and give predictions, projections, and that's what I try to tell people. They get on me for not picking us to win every game we play. Listen, I'm on the fan side. I'm not going to say media. I'm a guy giving projections and predictions and keeping it realistic. My mentality and how I see the season should not be the mentality in the building. They should expect to win every game. If we're not expecting to go 12-0 and go to the SEC championship, we got the wrong guy at head coach. We got the wrong people in the building. And Beamer, I know we got the right guy because he's mentioned it. The expectation's not, well, let's just finish 5th in the East. And, that's for us to predict. That's for us to project, right? That's for Vegas to do. The people in the building, which is why I think, honestly, man, I know social media is a great tool. I know it is. But that's why I think a social media ban in season would be good. And this is a whole separate topic just because, the outside noise does no good. It does no good for people on the team. But I'm not going to operate in the sense of, well, let me make sure I say this so they hear this. I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm going to keep it real. But I'll never forget David Pollock back in 03, 04 saying, don't read your own press clippings. I don't read my own press clippings. It's the same thing with social media. Don't read the tweets, positive or negative. Don't do it. Right? Let's see. Jacob Edwards says, I would even call it petty to kick him out. I think you're saying wouldn't. He's not a parent. He's not a recruiter. Regardless how it went down in recruiting, he's an active player on a rival team. No reason for him to show up. I 110% agree. 110% agree. That's not a hot take. That's what you're saying is not crazy. Some people might make you feel that way, but it's not crazy. You literally play for the rival. You have no business in our facility. None. Why are you here? Why are you here? You have no business here. Let's see. Justin says, still calling it. The recipe for an upset is there. The opportunity is there for our guys, up to our guys and coach busting Beamer to have them ready to reach out and take the opportunity. Maybe this is the year. I'd love to see it, man. I'd love to see it. Let's see. Dusty Rose says, I hate my job. Hire me, Chris. Maybe one of these days I will get to a point. I think I will. I know I will get to a point where I'll be hiring people, so I'll hit you up. I'm not quite there yet, but I'll let you know. Also, guys, in today's podcast, I dropped my top 5 best linebackers in Carolina football history. Check that out. Of course, open for debate. That's the beauty in it. That is the beauty in it. That is the beauty in it. Also very excited, my guy Robbie Davis. I'll be seeing Robbie tonight. It is show night for Uncle Boudreaux at the Comedy Club, Comedy House, whatever, in Columbia. So excited to partake in that. I'll have my Uncle Boudreaux shirt on. It's going to be a good time. Excited. I know Robbie's probably going to call in at some point, so just thought I'd bring that up. Really, really fun stuff. Brendan said in the Big Cock Club Discord in the TDC Questions channel, big fuck it Friday energy today. Why not, Brendan? Why not? Why not? Like I said, I'm glad that Beamer and company showed some marbles. You fuck us over, you have no place in our facility. Stay up in Clemson. I think that makes a lot of sense. You're my ex-girlfriend. You fucked me over. You're not welcome at my wedding. You know what I mean? It's not. This isn't rocket science. 2 + 2 is 4. This is easy math. You have no business here. What are you doing here? It's that simple. Clemson fans want to make you think you're taking loony pills. They're just pissed off because we kicked his ass out. That's it. Tough shit. So be it. Oh, well. Sucks to suck. I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. Brent Brooks says, what did I miss? My friend, what did you miss? Antonio Williams, kid we recruited who committed to Clemson, signed with Clemson. He was at our facility yesterday, and we kicked him out of the facility. Let's see. AJ Bowers, are you doing a top DB list? Yes, that'll be next week. I believe the Monday show will actually be top defensive backs. Yes. So last week is actually the final week of the top 5 series. We'll do defensive backs on Monday, and that'll be the last of it. I'm grouping safeties and corners together. It's just, yeah, I just figured that'd be easiest. Here, let's jump to the phone lines.
Call from
Robbie Davis, a.k.a. Kirk Street.
Robbie, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. Appreciate you asking. What's going on?
Honestly, I agree with what Justin Stepp and Beamer did, okay, because I would have done the same dadgum thing, okay? Like, you didn't, like, we put all this time and effort into getting you. Bye. Get out of here. Bye. Don't come anywhere near here until you play us later on in the season. Don't come anywhere near here. Bye. See ya. Okay? Because I'm telling you right now, if I was a coach, right? If I was a player, if I was any good at football, okay, like most of these guys are, okay, which I was not, but if I was any good to the point where D1 schools were looking at me, okay, whichever school put the most time and effort into getting me, that's where I'm going. I'm just letting you know that right now. Whichever school that really, really wants me and putting the most effort into getting me, okay, most likely that's where I would have wound up going, okay, if it was me, okay? Because that would tell me, okay, these guys really want me, they care about me, blah, 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 right?
Right.
They don't just see a football player. They see someone that they could help become not just a better football player, but a better man, okay? Whichever one is willing to do that, that's who I would want to play for, period. Not just help me become a great football player, but a better man and a person that you can depend on.
Yeah, and that's all great. I tell you what, though, Robbie, I'm doing this road to glory thing, and, I'm in the midst of my high school season. I'm trying to see who's throwing me the bag, truly. Who's throwing me the bag? Everything you said is great. I wish they had that in Road to Glory, though, where it's like, hey, Tennessee has offered you 10 McDonald's bags full of cash, and then South Carolina has offered you a Bentley, and then who really wants me? Who really wants me? You know,
Right.
You can say you want me, but do you really want me?
Right.
What you do you want me? You know what I mean? With them greenbacks, what them blue faces do? That's what I want to know. I mean, hey.
Yeah.
Just saying you want me don't pay them bills, my guy. Mama needs some new shoes. Mama need a new car. Mama need a house.
Mama needs a new kitchen top.
Come on, my guy. Come on, my guy. Come on now.
Oh, goodness gracious. But you get my point though. You understand what my point is?
I get it. Yes, I get it. Yeah, 110%.
Like, if I was, like I told you before, like if I was I wanted to be a basketball coach since I could freaking dribble a basketball, okay? So if I was recruiting a guy, okay, if there was a guy I genuinely like really wanted, right, I would bust my keister to get that dude to come play for me. All right? I'm like, look, you got an opportunity to do stuff that no one's done. You got an opportunity to prove to the naysayers that you are as good as you say you are. And I want you to trust me, but not only that, I want to earn your trust. I want to earn your trust. I want you to in the future, 3 years from now, to look me in the face and say, I trust you. I trust you to help me become not just a better man, but a better basketball player or whatever sport it is I'm coaching, whatever. You know what I mean?
And how would you feel if you put all that effort into a guy and he said, Coach, I like you. I want to come to your school. I think I could see myself being, let's just say, a Gamecock. And at the last minute, he didn't even give you the courtesy of a call and he chose the rival. How would you feel, Robbie?
I would tell my players, anytime he has basketball, double team the crap out of him. Don't let him breathe. He gets nothing. That's exactly what I would say. Anytime he touches the ball, I want to dadgum know what kind of gum he's chewing. I want to know what kind of toothpaste he used before the game. I want to know everything. I want to know everything. I want to know what kind of shampoo he used whenever he showered. I want to know everything. Stick to him like glue on paper. I don't give a darn. He gets nothing. That's what I would say. But if he's gonna get it, he's gonna earn it. Every single point that he's gonna get. That's for dang sure. I'm gonna smother him like mashed potatoes and gravy, and make him smother him.
Love that. Robbie, I'm looking forward to seeing you tonight, my guy. Gonna be a fun time.
Yeah.
What time you getting into Columbia?
My dad might be off by like 3. So if I had to guess, we'll be leaving no later than maybe 3:30, I think. I don't know.
You guys doing dinner anywhere or no? I mean, we can talk about this off air.
That's a good question. I got to find that out.
I'll give Uncle Boudreaux a call after this show. How about that? I'll give Uncle Boudreaux a call.
Okay, you do that. And also, like I said, you'll like I've told you earlier this week, I didn't tell you about what the guitar looked like, but I'm telling you, you'll like it. I swear you'll like it.
Good to hear. Good to hear.
Because when I saw it, I was like, wow. So I will see you this evening. Go Gamecocks! To heck with them tater haters, okay? Them tater haters can pucker up and kiss my keister, okay? Them bunch of them tater haters, okay? They can kiss my keister, all right? Because they suck. All right, man. I will see you this evening. Have a great rest of your day. All right.
Appreciate you, Robbie. Thanks so much, my guy. Looking forward to it. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Yeah, by the way, Lance brought this up, but our friends over at the Voice of College Football, SEC, they are doing simulations for the season. They did South Carolina, Georgia last night, and I would highly suggest you check it out. Wildly entertaining game, and it might not be quite the result you would expect. Yes, not your average sports kid. Yes. NCAA 14 is returning, I promise you. Right now, we're doing a Road to Glory series over on the Voice of College Football, SEC. I figured we'd do that instead of playing the season on Dynasty. And the reason is because is there really a lot of value in watching me go undefeated? Is there really a lot of value in that? You know what I mean? Is there value in that? I don't know. Because I will. I know last year, it's crazy. Last year I lost some games. And, whatever. When I finally learned to run the ball in Heisman, you have to run the ball like 75% of the time. It's so hard to pass on Heisman. Anyways, we got a good crowd in here today, man. I'd love to hear from you guys. Again, 843-790-3377. I'm fired up today, man. I'm very fired up. Very excited. It's crazy, man. I was getting ready for the show, and I put on this hat. This is, bro, when you think of like, what is the OG TSUS hat? What is like the TSUS hat? This is the hat. I know my guy Lance has this hat. This is the hat. Now, this black Beamer Ball trucker is like the hat. The hat of all hats when it comes to like the hats we have made. Truly. At least I feel that way. This was the first, what's funny, guys? This was the first ever. I was not a trucker hat guy. I was not a trucker hat guy before last year. I was like, you know what? Let's put Beamer Ball on a trucker, on a Richardson. And then I got it in the mail and I put it on. I was like, I am now confirmed a trucker hat guy. This is fire. I was like, I am now a trucker hat guy. So, anyways, let's see. Jeff Gullidge says, Tyler Knoll says, Robbie makes my day a little bit more bearable. Bless his heart. Yeah, Robbie's incredible. Jeff Gullidge says, did you say you were combining the cornerback and safeties into a single top 5? That would have to be hard. I am. And hey, you'll see the list on Monday. You know what that means? It should make for some great debate on Monday. It should. Guys, we're going to jump into a quick break, but I want to continue to hear from you, more of your questions, your comments, your calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. DGD. Rebecca says, congratulations to Robbie Davis week. I'm out. Rebecca, like, come on now. Come on, Rebecca. Rebecca. Oh, my God. Andrew, where do you find the specific hat? TSUS.store. TSUS.store. And if you go there, Andrew, you can scroll all the way down or you can search it, click Beamer Ball. You can also click hats on the side and you will see it there. We've got tons of merch, my friend. Check it out. TSUS.store. That is the link. I posted it in this chat. For some reason, it looks like it might not have went to Facebook. TSUS.store. Get your merch now, by the way. Get your merch now. Don't wait until kickoff. So many people all the time hit me up. Week of the game. Chris, you got any hats? You got any shirts? I don't keep inventory on hand right now, guys. I don't keep inventory on hand. It's all through the online store. Let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from
CJ.
CJ, what's up, my man? How are you?
I'm good, man. How about you?
I'm doing well, man. It's good to hear from you. What's going on?
Yes, sir. Got a little question and a little debate. And the guys that are going through it at work. Of course, from your rankings, but any other rankings. Do you think that had Marcus Lattimore not gotten hurt, with him holding the Heisman Trophy up, would he have been the number one running back at the University of South Carolina as it goes?
Had Marcus Lattimore not gotten hurt, would he be ranked the number one all-time back at Carolina? I think there's a very high possibility. Just because, I mean, yes, George Rogers won the Heisman Trophy. The numbers are gaudy. The numbers are insane. But I just imagine Marcus Lattimore's numbers had he stayed healthy. And, yeah, I mean, dude, the guy is the all-time leader in touchdowns, rushing touchdowns. And he was hurt.
Correct.
75% of his career. So, yeah, I mean, I do think if he played a fully healthy 3 years, yeah, I think he's the all-time greatest. I mean, it's tough because George Rogers literally won the greatest achievement in you can as an individual player. Granted, though, if Lattimore stayed healthy, maybe he does win the Heisman. Maybe he does.
And see, that was my debate. And my debate was also on this. Marcus Lattimore had studs around him, like as far as like NFL drafted, like well on his team. George Rogers didn't have as many, but Marcus Lattimore had better players around him that they didn't need to lean on Marcus as much.
Mm-hmm.
But when they leaned on him, he surpassed just as well as George Rogers did.
Right.
So that was my debate, is like, who had the better team and who used who much more? If, in my opinion, the same thing I told the guys, Marcus Lattimore was used just as much as George Rogers was when it came to that. Now, I never seen him play, but looking at the games that Marcus played, every single game, they had their game plan formed around Marcus Lattimore the same as they did for George Rogers. And we had Stephen Garcia, we had Alshon Jeffrey, we had Patrick DeMarco. So we had guys that you couldn't say were slouches. So in my opinion, I thought Marcus Lattimore would have been, and to me, it's still the greatest running back. Now, that's not taking anything away from George Rogers at all. Nothing. I love George Rogers. He's my number one. But when it comes to being the number one back, I still have to go with Marcus Lattimore. If I had to choose an all-decade team, Marcus Lattimore will be my running back, no doubt, over George Rogers.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a valid argument. I do think it's a valid argument. It's unfortunate that his injury, like I said, kind of, I hate to say diminished, but, you know, just took away from his career. But, I mean, certainly, man, whether you put George or you put Marcus up top, it's, I mean, two of the greatest Gamecocks ever. So
Correct. Well, that was all. I just wanted to prove that I'm not the only Gamecock that thought that Marcus Lattimore was the number one back. Had it not been for the injuries, but even through his injuries, even when he was healthy, I still would have chose Marcus Lattimore over George Rogers.
Okay.
And that's not taking away from George Rogers.
No. It's a good debate. I think it's a great debate.
Right. All right. Well, thanks, Chris. Thanks for taking my call, man. And we'll continue watching the show, man.
CJ, I appreciate you, my man. Really good to hear from you.
Yes, sir.
Take care. Great stuff. Glad to hear from CJ. It's been a while. Let's see. Justin said, talking DBs, Gilmore, Swearinger, Simpson, and Bennett with Allen as the nickel. That is his all-time secondary. Brian Lattimore says, if Marcus Lattimore stays healthy, he wins the Heisman and we win a national title. Here's something I can really get behind. Lance Player, my guy Lance, says, we all need to wear Beamer Rattler 22 merch the opening game. I would agree. Would love to see. You know what I've never done that I thought about? How would you guys feel about – here, let's jump – let me – before I can get back to it, let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from
Rebecca.
Here we go. Rebecca, what's going on? How are you?
All right, I reckon.
Why just all right? Something bothering you?
I just want to say that congratulations to Robbie Davis because all this week has been all about him here lately. And that's all I was wanting to really to say.
This is the week of Robbie Davis. Hey, so you win some, you lose some. Sometimes you just got to tip your cap. This is the week of Robbie Davis.
Yeah. So I'm out.
You're out? You're done. You're out. Drop the mic. She's out.
Right. Bye.
All right, Rebecca. Wow, that's it. That's it. Rebecca said, I'm out. Peace. Peace. Did Rebecca just retire from the Daily Crow? Is that what just happened? Wow. Wow. Rebecca just waved the white flag, tipped the cap to Robbie Davis, and that's all she wrote. So, wow. We'll see how long it lasts. What happened to Rebecca was the queen of the show, and Robbie Davis is the king, and I'm the top king. What happened to the hierarchy? Who shifted? Said hierarchy? Anyways, wow. A lot can change. You never know. That's why you got to tune in every day, folks. You never know. Tyler Knoll, back to the Gamecock conversation. He said, talking Marcus Lattimore. His freshman season game against Georgia was absolutely incredible. He single-handedly won the game for us that day, was incredibly brilliant against Alabama, and the best game I think he ever played was at the Swamp, and we won for the first time in school history. His freshman year was absolutely amazing. It's always going to be a what-if with Marcus, and that's the sad part. You know, people forget that, by the way, Tyler. That game against Florida in 2010 to win the SEC East, and I forget about it too, that was the first time we ever won in the Swamp. Isn't that insane? Isn't that nuts? Like, when you think about it, that is crazy. I mean, it's also crazy to think 2005 was the first time we ever won in Knoxville. But like 2010, it took us that long to win in the Swamp. Isn't that crazy? That is nuts, dude. That is, when you think of like the gravity of that victory, not just beating Florida to win the SEC East, but beating Florida to win the SEC East in a place you had never in the history of your school won before. That's wild. That's truly wild. Jimmy Mendillo, and Jimmy, I saw your email, by the way. I'll get back to you after the show. He says, do you think Spurrier overworked Lattimore? I don't, but a lot of people say he did. Did he overwork? I mean, listen, as a running back, your job is to run the ball. I understand workload management, but you feed your guy. You feed your guy. Bottom line. Rebecca saying she's done. Rebecca, I will bet that Rebecca calls into the Monday show. I'd be shocked if she doesn't. I'd be shocked if she doesn't. Truly. Jimmy Mendillo, to your point, to your email, I will say this. You mentioned towels. I'm thinking we are going to make Beamer Ball rally towels, like the towels they hand out. Let's gauge interest on this real quick on the Daily Crow. Would you guys be interested? Right? I mean, they hand out white towels for every game. Would you guys be interested in purchasing now Beamer Ball rally towels? Probably sell them for like $5. I don't know exactly how much towels go for, but if we were to make towels, white rally towels like the size they give out at Williams-Brice with Beamer Ball on it, would you guys be interested in a Beamer Ball? Or Shane Storm would actually be dope as hell because it goes with Sandstorm. Let's just do both. Why not? Beamer Ball and Shane Storm rally towels. Would you guys be interested in getting a rally towel? Because that's one you can keep the entire season, right? And forever, really. I mean, so again, we'd have to charge because that's a lot of towels just make for free. That's a hell of an investment. So if I got to charge $5, we could sell them at game day. We could sell them at the tailgate. I think that'd be a great idea. I think that would be a great idea. We could also sell them, of course, online, but I think selling them on game day would be a fantastic idea. AJ Bowers, here's a great question. Favorite merch that you've made so far? Really loving the Beamer Ball merch. I mean, I'd probably say the Beamer Ball merch. It's also the top selling merch we've ever made, so that certainly helps. I mean, I love the Beamer Ball merch. I love the Shane Storm merch. The merch I think that's most slept on that I like, I love the Yardcocks baseball merch we've done. I love that merch. I love our Go Fight Win Kick-Ass merch we just dropped that not a ton of people have bought, to be honest with you. AJ Bauer says, make garnet towels. Well, AJ, I want it to go with, I mean, we do white towels. That's what we do. Andrew Horrell with your social tags on those. That's a great idea, Andrew. A little at the Spurs Up show on the bottom. Great idea. Great idea. I like you, TikToker. I like that. I like that. I like that. I like that. Ben DeRosa said, Gilly merch is fire. I like that as well. Travie, wonder what the first game uniform will look like against Georgia State. I think white garnet white. I think we'll go traditional white garnet white, just like we did last year against EIU. I think white garnet white for sure. That's Gapman. That's exactly what I was about to say before Rebecca called in. Would you guys be interested in garnet and black options of the Beamer Rattler 22 merch? Is that something y'all be interested in? I've kept it at white because it's so clean on white, but I got to say, Beamer Rattler 22 on a black hat like this or a garnet hat or black shirts and garnet shirts would be pretty fuego. Not going to lie. I think it would be pretty dope, and it's probably something I could easily produce and easily make. Yeah. Probably something I could easily make, honestly. So maybe I'll get on that. I'm also, guys, I'll go ahead and spoil it for you. I'm also in the process of making a shirt on Comfort Colors that is going to be your Georgia game day shirt. Your Georgia game day shirt. Okay? Georgia game day shirt. It's going to be a Comfort Colors pocket tee. And on the pocket, it's going to say THWG. T.H.W.G. THWG. And on the back, it's just going to say to hell with Georgia in big old font, big old letters. So. Let's see. Travie says, I wouldn't mind if Carolina was bigger on the jersey. Yeah, that's my biggest problem with Under Armour is the font, man. My biggest problem with Under Armour is the font, for sure. It is definitely the font. Anyways, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Yeah, those to hell with Georgia shirts are going to be fire. DGD, I'm sorry, my guy. Just trying to sell merch. And I mean, listen, we're cool, but it's to hell with Georgia every day, my guy. Not to hell with you. But it's to hell with Georgia. AJ Bauer says either take all white or white garnet against Arkansas. I think all white. Got to go Stormtroopers. week 2. I think. Let me ask you guys this. So in the NFL, right? In the NFL, they drop their uniform schedule for the entire season in the preseason. Would you guys prefer that? I think, actually, I'll say this. I think it would be very cool and unique of South Carolina to drop the uniform schedule, because nobody else in college football does that. Everybody else in college football, they wait up until like Thursday or Friday or even game day to reveal what they're wearing. I think it'd be cool to drop the entire uniform schedule. Like, go ahead and determine it now what we're wearing. Just take all the mystery out of it, right? Take all the mystery out and go ahead and just set it. I think that would be, I'm not saying do it every year. I think it would be cool, and I think it would be different. Again, in the NFL, like the Carolina Panthers, everybody does that. They drop that uni schedule. You know exactly what they're going to wear every week before you even go into the season. I think it'd be cool to do that. I think South Carolina would separate themselves and would be different. Just my take, just my 2 cents. What do y'all think? Jimmy Mendillo says he likes the surprise. Connor McCormick loves the mystery. But see, now we don't even have like battle armor. We don't even have battle armor anymore. A lot of the uniform reports is just stuff I'm getting from people on the inside, stuff I'm getting from people that work for the team and all that, right? So I don't know. I mean, it's Andrew Hurl, but then you have all the negative Nancy. There's always going to be negative Nancy's, Andrew. Ben DeRosa, but we don't even have uniform reveal videos anymore. Oh, God, I'm about to read this comment. We're about to have TDC drama. Marion R26 says, Rebecca, it's sad when someone on the show calling in makes you jealous. It's just a call-in show. There are more things you should be worried about in life than a call-in show. Take it with a grain of salt. Wow. Okay. We got a little bit of TDC drama here on this Friday. A little bit of TDC drama. Here we go. Let's jump to the phone lines.
Call from
Carter.
Carter, what's up, man? How are you?
What's up? How are you? I was just thinking about the schedule, man. It's rough. But I think the most important game is the Florida game for sure. Even you could say Kentucky, but you can make the excuse we've historically been not great against them in their building, but I think Florida's the biggest one. You gotta surpass them this year for sure.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Florida's a big game. It's one of those toss-ups, I think, that sort of – and you think about the point in the season in which it's at, you'll be, probably needing to beat Florida to get your 6th win to punch bowl eligibility again. So, yeah, it'll be an important game, especially the time in the season in which it's played. So, I'd look at that one. I'd look at Tennessee. I'd look at Mizzou. I'd look at Kentucky. I'd look at Arkansas. I think those are the 5 swing games. Those are the 5 toss-ups that will determine the type of year you have, between 6-6 and 8-4, we'll say. So, yeah, Florida's a big one. I think it's important because you need to take advantage of where Florida is right now, in the midst of a coaching change. And, I don't think Florida's going to be as bad as some people are saying, but Florida's not traditional Florida. So I think it's important to take advantage of that.
Right. Especially on the road, too.
Yeah. Again, we talk about SEC East hierarchy. I just think that, if you can kind of establish yourselves as you're ahead of Florida, I think that's a very big deal. Very, very big deal.
All right, well, that's pretty much all I had to say. Thank you.
Yeah, Carter, I appreciate the call, my guy. Thanks so much. Yeah, no, listen, I agree with Carter. It's a huge game. I don't know that it's the most important of the season, but it's a huge game. You know, they got a first-year head coach, man. They got a first-year head coach, and I think they're still Florida and they got talent. It'll be a tough game, but that's a big one. That's a big one for SEC East hierarchy. That's a big one because I look at the matchup against Florida like I look at it against Tennessee in the sense of perception's reality. And when it comes to perception in college football, right? Where if Florida beats you, right? They beat you one time and it's okay. Florida is at least thought of as ahead of South Carolina as a program because of history, tradition. They're Florida. It takes South Carolina, I believe, 2 to 3 consecutive victories for people to say, okay, South Carolina has now surpassed Florida as a program. Fair or unfair, that's just how it is, guys. That's just how it is, right? South Carolina has to do more to get the benefit of the doubt. They have to do more. So if you can beat Florida this year, you string back-to-back victories over them, right? All of a sudden, people say, okay, South Carolina is ahead of Florida. Maybe you go into 2023 and South Carolina's getting picked ahead of Florida. Because I can tell you right now, whether you like it or not, next month at SEC Media Days, the picks are going to look like this. Georgia picked to win the East. I think you'll see Tennessee pick second, Kentucky pick third, Florida pick fourth, South Carolina pick fifth, Mizzou sixth, Vanderbilt seventh. That's probably, I mean, you could maybe switch out Tennessee, Kentucky, Florida, those three, but South Carolina's going to get picked to finish fifth. They're going to get picked to finish fifth. You know why they're going to get picked to finish fifth? You know why South Carolina's going to get picked to finish fifth in the SEC East? Because you haven't beaten Georgia recently. You sure as shit haven't beaten Kentucky. You haven't beaten Tennessee. And yes, you beat Florida once, but I still think people are going to give Florida the benefit of the doubt. That's it. So, yeah, a win over Florida would be huge. A win over Florida would be very big. Very, very big. We are rocking and rolling here on this Friday. Content bleeding out the eyeballs for sure. Let's see. Travis says he thinks we're going to beat Tennessee this year. Okay. I mean, I'd love to see it. I think it's going to be a great game. Brian Lattimore doing God's work in the YouTube chat. I appreciate you, Brian. C said I'd go for all the towels, or I'd go for the towels, take all my money. C, thank you. Brennan M says, wish I could wear the To Hell with Georgia shirt on game day. Probably still going to buy it anyways. Hashtag To Hell with Georgia. Yeah, that's one I'll probably work on over the weekend. I'll probably drop that sometime next week. Yeah, probably going to drop it sometime next week. I just got to sit down and make the graphic. I just haven't sat down and done that yet. But no, that's 110%. That is going to be my game day shirt for that game. Probably will go with white or garnet. It will be very hot to wear black. But yeah, I'm excited. I love making merch. People ask me all the time, what's your favorite part of TSUS? What's your favorite part of what you do? There's many favorite parts, but the merch is awesome, man. I just love it. And I appreciate you guys, the love and support on the merch. And yeah, so. Anyways, let's see. Tyler Knoll says biggest game is against Tennessee and Missouri. Also, we have to get back to beating Kentucky every year. Stoops, for whatever reason, gets his guys every year ready to play. And us, well, we fall flat on our face year after year. Well, he's built the program, man. I mean, again, they recruit guys that fit their system. They develop them. And you know, Stoops is a good coach. I mean, give him credit. He's a good coach. He's done a great job there. He's done a great job there for sure. So Cody Gaskins says, hotty toddy. He is pulling for the Rebels. Yep, my national title pick, Arkansas. Just, I don't know, man. They cave. They cave when they get to the finals. I don't know what it is. They just cave when they get to the World Series. I almost feel for Arkansas fans. That's tough. That's tough. Andrew says he's buying the Beamer Ball hat. I appreciate you, Andrew. Thank you. We got it in garnet, too, and in white. Got it in garnet, black, and white, my guy. Also on T-shirts, hoodies, tank tops, everything you need, dude. Everything you need. Rebecca chiming in says, Chris, do one with To Hell with Tennessee. I think we're more so going to do one, Rebecca, with like something with like a mustard bottle, maybe a golf ball, something like that. So our guy, I gotta be honest with you, Rebecca. I think I know someone that hates Tennessee, Rebecca, more than you do. Our guy Dalton. He is the biggest Tennessee hater I've ever met. So I don't know. On 3, dropping their top 5 SEC quarterbacks, Spencer Rattler ranks 2nd behind Bryce Young of Alabama. So good to see Spencer Rattler getting some love, some respect. I got to be honest with you, by the way. This is just totally random, but this Twitter Blue thing, you can do it for $2.99 a month. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but there's actually some cool features of it. The one that I probably like the most is you can upload full HD videos and longer videos. You can upload up to 10-minute long videos on Twitter. So I wouldn't have to, I mean, granted, but here's the thing though. I've thought about like we have these 5-minute clips people could watch. I'm like, who's watching a 5-minute video now? Like if they are, they're probably going to YouTube to do it. So they also, dude, get this. If you pay this $2.99 a month, you can undo tweets. How about that? You can undo a tweet. Isn't that something? The beauty in Twitter is just firing it off. You know what I mean? We can't have people out here editing tweets. Garrett H says media. Rattler's top 5 SEC quarterback. Also media. USC will go 5-2. Yeah, I got to get my guy Jake Crane on the show at some point to discuss and to detail why he said South Carolina will go 2-6. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to text Jake right now. I'm going to text Jake. If he's free, I'm going to send him the link. We'll get him in here right now. I want to say, Jake, why did you pick Carolina to go 2-6? And which 2 are they beating? I'll take 5 minutes from him. I'll take 5 minutes. Jake calling me right now? Jake, what's up, man?
Hey, what's up, man? I got about 5 minutes, brother.
Dude, you're on the live show, man. What's up? We were literally.
Oh, I'm on the live show?
Yes, that's why I texted you.
Oh, man, I thought you wanted to talk about something. No, what's
no,
up, man?
dude, we were just talking about your predictions, your picks.
Oh,
I told my audience,
so,
I said,
so I just walked into the bear pit.
You did. Welcome to the arena.
Yeah, look, I'm ready for it. I step in the arena like Gilbert Arenas.
Dude, yeah. So we all saw the pick, obviously, which, hey, I said this yesterday. I respect all the predictions, projections, all that. But you picked Carolina to go 2-6 in the SEC, which I would assume is 5-7 overall. I just want to give you the platform, man, to explain, because I'm sure, as you imagine, I know you caught hell on Twitter. I know you caught hell on social media.
For sure. Well, again, like y'all think there's hell caught on Twitter for this Roe v. Wade stuff. Just put out some predictions. Who's going to finish?
Oh,
and
yeah.
Also feel anger. Look, I looked at the schedule. Look, my thing is, and I've said this, Chris, you know this, I came on your show and said this, I think Beamer was a great choice. I think he's the right hire, and I know South Carolina fans are smart enough to be patient, and he's going to get it going, not just good, but going really good. But I look at the schedule. I think that's where a lot of people sometimes, you look at the players and not the schedule. You got to kind of look at both of them. You'll have sometimes where you're playing 3-4 games in a row against quality opponents without a bye week, something like that. So when I look at it in the SEC, because when I look at their whole schedule, I got them beating Georgia State in the non-conference. I got them beating Charlotte and South Carolina State, obviously in the non-conference. And I wouldn't be shocked if they gave Clemson a run with what I think Clemson's going to be offensively this year. But when I look at the SEC schedule, you go to Arkansas first game. That's tough. That's tough. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Arkansas, again, up front, When you look at what Pittman's been able to do, I think at home too, starting off the SEC schedule, they're going to be hot. I like Arkansas that game. Then you get Georgia at home. I mean, let's be realistic. Georgia, it's a tough situation right now. Then you got to go to Kentucky, which isn't an easy place to play. I think you and I agree about Mark Stoops and what he's been able to do there, especially up front, because that's the quickest way to bridge the gap. Then I went back and forth on this A&M game at home, Chris. This is the one that really kind of got me, because I do feel like Shane is going to sneak up and beat somebody he's not supposed to. But I think Max Johnson is going to be good enough with what Texas A&M has up front, what they're returning on the defensive side, even though I know they lost a couple guys. So I think A&M squeaks that one out. Then Missouri, I got y'all beaten at home. Then Vanderbilt. I mean, we could put a team together with half of us and half girls and go beat Vanderbilt right now. So not worried about that one. Then at Florida was another one I wrestled with, but I think Billy's going to sneak it out of the swamp. I think Florida's going to surprise some people this year. I got to beat Utah early as well. And then Tennessee at home. I think Tennessee's going to finish second in the East, obviously. To me, I think they're going to go 5-3. I think it's going to be a logjam behind Georgia, really, to be honest with you.
With that being said, you add Spencer Rattler. Would you agree, though? I mean, we all love Beamer, but would you agree there's no way you could deem year 2 a success missing a bowl game with Spencer Rattler as your quarterback?
No, you couldn't. I especially with the stand, because look, Shane's come in there and raised the standard for how fast this thing's going to go. But again, you can only do so much. The roster he inherited, to me, was about as bad as you're going to inherit at this level of football in the SEC with what was leaving, even going to the draft that year off that South Carolina team. So when I look at Spencer Rattler, the jury's still out to me on the kid, and you got to be good up front. I know South Carolina returned some guys, but they weren't great last year, and just because I returned a car that wasn't good in 2021 doesn't automatically make it good in 2022. So I gotta see it. But I love Stogner. That pickup was big, but I just don't think they have the depth. That I'm not worried about South Carolina in the first half. I'm really not worried about South Carolina for 2.5 quarters. What worries me is that last quarter and a half with the depth. Will it be enough compared to some of these other teams? And that's kind of where I made my decision.
Okay. Locked in. Jake Crane locked in 5-7. Hey, it's talking season, man. That's the beauty of it. I'm sure I'll ruffle.
Look, and you know what?
Yeah.
You know what, Chris? You know me. If I'm wrong, I'll be the first one to come on here and congratulate everybody on the success and say that I was wrong. But I don't want to just say stuff just to make people happy. You know, I'm not a politician.
Right. That is a fact for sure. If you follow any of your work on social media. Before I let you out of here, Jake, I appreciate you giving us just a little bit of your time, this sort of random impromptu call. Best chance for a big upset to get that 6th win, if you will? It sounded like you said A&M, but do you look at Florida? Do you look at Tennessee?
Yeah,
do you look at Kentucky? Which one?
There's a bunch of places. I mean, even at Kentucky, like I don't think it's going to be a blowout. I think South Carolina's going to be a lot of close games. I would say Kentucky on the road, A&M at home, Florida on the road. And I know you're going to Clemson, but just I don't know. My spidey senses are kind of feeling weird on that. I just got to see where Clemson is when they come out of the gate. But I think there's multiple chances where you could flip it 7-5. Best case scenario is probably 8-4. But again, I think it's going to be 5-7.
Jake, again, I appreciate you being gracious with your time, man. We'll definitely get you back on the show here in a couple of weeks. Thanks for calling, my man. I know this was random, but hey, the best content is the most random, I feel like, a lot of times.
No, that's exactly right. Listen, the best vegetables are organic, baby. We don't know it. It's here and crunchier. But no, I appreciate it, man. Just let me know when you want me back on.
Jake, I appreciate you, man. Take care. Great stuff. That's why you tune in the Daily Crow, folks. You just never know who might jump on. You never know who might call in. There you go. Jake Crane got South Carolina 2-6 in the SEC, 5-7 overall. Not going to make a lot of friends in the Gamecocks fan base with that prediction, but hey, it's talking season. It's prediction season. You got to be willing to ruffle some feathers. I respect it. Either way. I don't agree, but I respect it. Hey, guys, we'll jump into a quick break. I want to continue to hear from you on this beautiful Friday. More of your questions, your comments, your calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. You just never know what's going to happen here on the Daily Crow. Our guy, Jake Crane, calling in. You guys go flood his mentions, by the way, on social media. No, listen, I appreciate Jake. He's a friend of the show, friend of mine. Always awesome conversations with him. And, I mean, listen, you got to respect people's predictions. You got to respect their projections, all that good stuff. It's prediction season. We're not all going to agree, but I do respectfully disagree with Jake on the 2-6 SEC record and 5-7 overall, because in Jake's scenario, let me put it this way. In Jake's scenario, South Carolina will have lost every swing game this year. Basically, they'll have lost every single swing game. And I just don't think with all the additions you made offensively, Clayton White's defense, having your back, I just don't see a way that South Carolina very well might go 6-6. They might go 6-6. There's no way you lose every swing game you have. And I know he would agree. I mean, it would be – I don't want to be over dramatic. It would be a catastrophically bad season if you went 5-7. Like, how in the world? You know, it's a bad year if you miss a bowl game, period, right? That should never be acceptable at South Carolina. You should, at minimum, in my opinion, make a bowl game every year. But you miss a bowl game after adding what you've added. Just Spencer Rattler alone. Forget all the other additions. Just adding Spencer Rattler. You miss a bowl game after adding him, that is a massive failure. And I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. So, Brennan M says, ready for the Beamer tweet come November when we finish 8-4. Hashtag find some joy. Is that it? Yeah. Hashtag find some joy. AJ Bowers, here we go. Throw this up. He says, I'm calling it right now. If we beat Georgia week 3, we have a really good chance to win the East, but it depends on how they play. AJ, listen, yeah, I mean, if we do what my guy Cox by 90 said we're going to do and start 3-0, well, by God, I mean, we might win the East. I don't think that's going to happen. Again, you got to be realistic. South Carolina, as Jake mentioned, the depth up front is a concern. Just up front in general is a concern. Will that offensive line be put together enough at that point to stand up to the likes of Arkansas and Georgia? I mean, that's what it comes down to, guys. I mean, I know it gets so old and annoying to just go back to offensive line and talk offensive line yet again. But in those type of games, that's what it comes down to. Because Spencer Rattler can't be Spencer Rattler if he doesn't have time to throw. He just can't. Jaheim Bell can't be Jaheim Bell if his quarterback doesn't have time to get him the ball. Marshawn Lloyd can't be Marshawn Lloyd. Christian Beal-Smith can't be Christian Beal-Smith if they don't have holes to run through. And so, you know, it's those games where there is a mismatch on the line of scrimmage that is concerning. Now, I think Carolina's got the guys to be better than they were last year, certainly. I mean, you were abysmal last year, so I'd certainly hope so. But even with that being said, even if you're better than you were last year, I don't think you're not to a point where you can line up and go toe-to-toe with Georgia and beat them, I think. So, anyways, guys, I would love to continue to hear from you. I love that. I love the fact that, you know, I texted Jake and said, hey, man, you got a free 5 minutes? You got a free 5 minutes? I said, are you free right now to chat? That's all I said. He just calls in, doesn't even know that he's on the show. So that was cool. That was awesome. Definitely going to be clipping that. Tyler Knoll, speaking of running backs, who is your RB1 after fall practice? I think a healthy Marshawn's the best back we have on the roster. Great question. I'm probably leaning Christian Beal-Smith right now, who will be RB1. Running back, though, is kind of one of those things that doesn't really matter who RB1 is coming out the gate, not necessarily. The guy who's most productive is going to play. I'll go Christian Beal-Smith. I got to see Marshawn Lloyd prove it to me. I got to see Marshawn Lloyd prove it. Travis says we're going 4-4 in conference. We beat Vandy, Mizzou, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Okay. I mean, I don't know many a Gamecock fan that would not take that, honestly. And listen, there's no doubt the schedule's hard. But it's going to be a real tough sell to Gamecock fans if you go 6-6. I mean, there is no sell if you miss a bowl game, right? There is no sell if you miss a bowl game, but it's going to be a real tough sell to Gamecock fans if you go 6-6. That you had a great season. It's just going to be a tough sell, man, because it's like, well, you went 6-6 last year. And I know that's not how it works. Just because you win X amount of games one year doesn't mean you should win Y amount of games the next year. But after all you've added, it's going to be a tough sell to fans to say, we had this fantastic year. So, that's sort of where you put yourself. You go 7-6 in year one. That's just where you put yourself. South Carolina's Board of Trustees met. They just approved an agreement to a charter flight agreement with Delta Airlines for the football team for the 2022 season. It'll cost over $811,000 total. Oh, $611,000. Okay, $611,000. Damn, them boys are flying well. Let's see. John Gibbs says Beamer's got to keep recruiting and get those number 2s and 3s. That's where we lack in football, it seems. With a legit quarterback, we will win at least 7. I think our ceiling is 9, and that's with a bowl win. 8 is my magic number. Yeah, 8-4 would be a fantastic year. I think we all agree. 8-4 would be a phenomenal year. Phenomenal year. Truly. Yeah, truly. Tyler Knoll says a quote-unquote successful season, in my opinion, this year's 8-4 with the talent that we have there. Should be no reason why we don't get to 8. Again, I'd sign up, Tyler, for 8-4 at this very moment. 8-4 would be a very, very, very fun season. It'd be a very fun season, for sure. Be a very fun season. So I can tell you this, guys, 2 weeks from now, we'll be talking predictions and all that. I'm very excited to get to that point, to get to the prediction season, if you will, talking season even more so, because, I feel like we're sort of teasing it right now, right? We're teasing it right now, and we're just touching on it. I know we're all ready to move to that. I know we are. I can tell by the tones of the conversation. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for it. I know we're all ready to start talking football. I mean, as am I. I'm guys. I will tell you this, and again, this is the quote unquote off season. Let's just call it the preseason. But I said weeks ago, months ago, when we were in the midst of baseball season, I said I am, and I stand by this. You think about since I started doing TSUS. Especially since I started doing it full time, there has not been a preseason or an off season, whatever, that has had as much hype and excitement as this one, right? I mean, I think to be fair, there was hype in 2018. There was hype going in the 2018 season after you had beaten Michigan in the Outback Bowl. We really thought that maybe the program had turned a corner, and everybody was looking at that week 2 matchup against Georgia as the one to set the tone in the East and all that stuff, right? But since I started doing this full time, August of 19, right? Since I started doing it full time, this is the most hype we've had going into a season since I've started doing it full time. I mean, you think about it. God, going into 2020 was brutal. And then we had, really even going into 2019 was brutal. Going into 2020 was brutal. Going into last year, we had hope and optimism, but it was just because we had a change, right? It wasn't really justified, to be honest, guys, by anything on the field. It was just because, thank God, we're out of the Muschamp era. This year, we actually have real on-field reasons to be excited about this football team. So I can't wait to start breaking it all down, dissecting into our opponents, dissecting our football team, giving my predictions, projections, arguing with you all on how I think the season's going to go. It's going to be a blast, man. Truly, it's going to be a blast. It's going to be a blast. Let's see. John Gibbs says, you're hearing it from me first, ladies and gents, but out of Georgia, A&M, and Clemson sucks, we will win one of those. Just wait and see. All right, John, you're on the record. You're on the record. You're on the record. Travis says, until we do it, how can you say that we beat Georgia, A&M, Florida on the road, and Clemson? Unfortunately, until it happens, we can't say that these games are W's. Fair enough. All right, let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from
Zachary.
Here we go. Zachary, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm good, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. I appreciate you asking. What's going on?
No, Chris, this is really me just out here. I'm just going to give a shout out to this coaching staff for kicking a certain person off who I don't even know why they even showed up in the first place. I'm pretty sure you already talked about this. I don't know if you talked about this or not. I know you posted about it yesterday, but I wanted to give my chance to shout out this staff for kicking that person off because I don't know what he was thinking when he showed up in the first place.
I mean, I agree, man. I went in on it at the beginning of the show, and yeah, I mean, I agree. Listen, you can – no issues. Hey, the kid, you have the freedom to go wherever you want. You can pick whatever school's best for you. But when you go about things a certain way, got to understand there's going to be consequences. And it shouldn't be on, be the bigger person. But at some point, man, you know what? You got to have a backbone, right? You got to have some marbles about you. And if somebody screws you over, it is more than fair and more than acceptable, I should say, to say to somebody, hey, you play for the rival, you should not be here. You don't belong here. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, coaches get tired of getting jerked around by 17-year-olds. They get tired of it. They just get sick of it. It's human nature, right? So I don't blame them one bit. I don't blame them one bit.
Yeah. And when the dad tweeted out, I was rolling my eyes. I was like, sir, do you not see your profile picture? Do you I'm pretty sure you knew what happened at the end of the process. You knew what happened, and you literally out here tweeting about acting like we have no class. I'm like, sir, by all means, it kind of seems like y'all don't have any class. The way the process ended, and by showing up there, it kind of feels like y'all have no class. I'm not trying to come for anybody. I'm not trying to question on how anybody was raised, but it kind of felt a little classless in my opinion.
Yeah. I agree. I agree 110%. I agree 110%. Yeah. I not only understand why Shane Beamer and Justin Stepp responded the way they did, I encourage it. I would rather have a head coach and a coaching staff that's quote unquote petty than one that has no nuts. Yeah. I'd rather them be the way they are than just let a kid walk all over you. Like at some point, man, you don't need to kiss the ground these recruits walk upon. We'll go get another one. There's another ego-driven prima donna 4-star receiver out there we can go land. It ain't like he's just one in a million, bro. There's another one out there. There's another one out there, man.
Yeah, and my thing about this around the situation was I was so happy. Like when it also made me happy to hear that some of the players were like, if he stays here, I don't I'm just gonna let you know if he stays here, it's not gonna end well because that's what I want to hear. And you say it all the time, Chris, that not everybody is like the biggest fan of your school, but it is nice that they are taking pride that this is our facility, this is sacred ground, and we are going to protect it, and we're going to protect it, and
Right. I mean, again, I don't think it's like it makes so much. I don't understand how it doesn't make sense to people. Like you play for the rival, you should not be in our facility. I mean, this isn't an open door policy for Clemson folk. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Why would one of our guys go up there? You have a facility to go to. You don't need to go up there.
Yeah. And when all the Clemson fans came saying how rude and like talking about like we're terrible, I'm like, so I'm gonna send like Spencer Rattler, Antoine Wells, Marshawn Lloyd, all of them are gonna go to y'all facility, so we can send all of them to y'all facility. That's how we're gonna do this, and it's so rude. Like we're just gonna have picnics on like let's have a picnic on the UGA's campus since we were so rude. I mean, like, come on.
Yeah. Russ, well
It's
said.
like-
I agree 110%. I agree with you, my guy.
Also, did you see Billy Napier wrote a open letter to the Florida fan base?
I did not see that. No.
He wrote an open letter to the fan base. I did not read it. I just thought it was hilarious that he's already writing an open letter to the fan base, and he's only been there for 6 months. But like I said this when he got hired. I said, heavy as the head that wears the crown. I'm like, when you go to Florida, there are expectations there. Like, there are serious expectations. They want to have a top 5 recruiting class, like at least top 10, top 5 recruiting class. They want to compete seriously for the East. It's like, I don't, like I said, I don't know exactly what the letter said, but usually when a coach writes an open letter to the fan base, it's usually never a good thing, because usually that means the fans are complaining.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of pressure in Gainesville, man. There's a lot of pressure in Gainesville to win, so I'm sure he's already feeling it.
Yeah. All right, Chris. That's all I wanted to do. Thanks for taking the call.
Zachary, I appreciate it, my man. Always a pleasure to hear from you. Great stuff. Zachary, as always a really good call from him. Again, guys, we got about 20 minutes or so, just a little bit under, left to go. Hope you guys have had a fantastic weekend. Thank you all so much for the continued love and support in regards to the business, the podcast, the live show, the merch, everything. Truly, it's been another successful week. Babes and Waves says, what is the chances of a time change for South Carolina, Georgia? I think the game is set. I'd be pretty surprised if you saw a time change. I don't know why they would set a time and then change the time. You know what I mean? I think the time is set, guys. It's going to be a noon kickoff, and it's probably going to be a hot one. Andrew says, I want to hear people's thoughts on the quarterback room. Well, Andrew, I think we're in a good spot with Spencer Rattler as our starter. I think that, people are going to hate to hear it, but I think Luke Doty, until something changes, I think he's QB2. You add Tanner Bailey, you've added Braden Davis. I would expect both of those gentlemen to redshirt. Maybe they see their action in 4 games. I think, I'll tell you this. I think a low-key storyline of the season. I mean, obviously, we all want to see Rattler play basically every snap and put up gaudy numbers. But if you can, especially in the games against Georgia State, SC State, Charlotte, and I think of Vandy, if you can, you'd really, really like to get these young quarterbacks some experience. You'd like to get them some action, because you're going to be starting over under center next year. Like, it would be beneficial to get these players some looks, right? I think that's kind of a side note, a footnote storyline, but it's an important one, right? Because while all eyes and all expectations and all thoughts are just on the 2022 season, Shane Beamer's got to think ahead. He's got to think ahead, right? He's got to think about his football team next year. And, you'd hate to, be starting a quarterback. You'd hate to be starting a quarterback that had 0 career snaps, right? You would. So with that being said, next year is going to be the quarterback conversation next year is going to be very interesting, right? Is it just going to be Luke Doty, or does somebody surpass him? I think most Gamecock fans would, I hate to say it, prefer a Tanner Bailey or a Braden Davis. But, may the best man win the competition. But getting those guys experience, getting them looks, I think will be very important. Will be very important this season if you can do so. Guys, we're going to jump into one final break, but I want to continue to hear from you. More of your questions, your comments, your calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, what's up, guys? We're back taking your questions, comments, calls, final 10 minutes or so here on this Friday. Appreciate you all tuning in. Jeff Gullidge says, I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but we have to get over the time of the Georgia game. The networks don't think it's going to be close. They believe it'll be over at halftime. Those type of games are not primetime games. Jeff, that is a tough pill to swallow. But Georgia will probably be, I mean, you think about it. If I know the game's away, but if Clemson opens as a 16-point favorite, obviously what happens the first 2 weeks will factor in. But Georgia's probably going to be, guys, they're going to be a 2-touchdown favorite. There's no question. I mean, which would be a massive improvement from last year. You guys remember last year? Carolina was a 32-point underdog. 32. Even I thought that was crazy. Even I thought that was nuts. Tate Maloney, do you think Arch will lead Texas to the playoffs? I said this in the Big Cock Club Discord this morning. And I'm willing to go on the record and say, I think within the next decade, Texas wins a national championship. Dude, Texas, they should be good. Texas football should be elite. There's no reason Texas shouldn't be elite. None. There's no reason they shouldn't be elite. Within the next decade, they win a national title. Anyways, guys, I appreciate y'all, man. Everybody that calls in, comments, really, truly, man. I cannot say thank you enough because, as I've told you all before, if I would have started the Daily Crow back in the day, and it would have just been me rambling for 2 hours, I wouldn't have done it. So you guys are what make this show. So again, I say thank you. And dude, I'm just like getting the visions in my head and getting so excited. Like, I can't wait. And, it's so much fun doing the Daily Crow on Fridays, the day before the game. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that is so much fun. Like, the anticipation building for kickoff the next day. It's just incredible, man. It's funny, man. There truly is nothing like college football. I mean, there's just nothing like that anticipation, that build up to kickoff. There's just nothing like it. There's nothing like it, man. Let's see. Travis Lee, yes, we lost that game by 27 last year to Georgia. Lost it by 27. I don't remember the exact score, but we lost by 27. I do recall that. We covered 32. Yep, we covered 32. Cody Gaskins strongly disagreeing with me on the Texas take. Cody, hey, within the next decade, Cody, I could see it. Brunick says, hello from Brazil. How about this, Brunick's in Brazil? Cheers, my friend. How about that? You just never know how far the brand can reach, how far the show can reach. That's awesome. Brunick's, I appreciate you, man. Thank you. Andrew says, Chris, how long do you think it'll take Carolina to get to the national championship? Well, Andrew, it's never happened in over 100 years. So, I mean, I don't want to be the guy that says never, but I mean, it'd be a bold take to say Carolina's going to win a national championship within the next decade, 2 decades. I hope it happens before I die. I really do. I hope it happens before we're no longer on this earth. We'll put it that way. I mean, I'd love to believe it's going to happen. Let's just try to win the SEC first. How about that? Let's try to win the SEC first. By the way, guys, I did get confirmation from my sister. Her wedding is going to be on October the 8th, the day of the Kentucky game. 5 to 5:30. Reception, 5:30 to 10:30. So I think ideally, believe it or not, that Kentucky game, I am pulling for a noon kickoff. Yes, I am pulling. 4 o'clock SEC Network would be the absolute worst case. Worst case scenario. Please don't do it to me. Either a noon game or a night game, preferably a noon game. I don't want to have to be sitting at the reception watching the game. I really don't. I really don't. So I have fingers crossed, football gods, please give me that noon kickoff against Kentucky. I don't think that's a 3:30 or a 4 o'clock SEC Network. I don't see that. I don't see that. I don't see that. But I will say, I could see it being a night game just because if Carolina does screw around and beat Arkansas, right? Let's say we start 4-1, we're ranked. 4-1, we're ranked. Kentucky, I'd assume they'll be ranked. Ranked matchup, big game. Could be a primetime night game. Just please, dear God. Let's see. Who else plays that week? Who else plays? Here we go. October the 8th, SEC schedule. Okay, A&M Bama plays that night. How about a game that night? A&M plays Bama. Auburn plays Georgia. So the odds we get a 3:30 game are out the window. It'll probably be the doubleheader on CBS with Bama, A&M at 8, Georgia, Auburn at 3:30. So as long as we're not getting the 4 o'clock SEC game, we're Gucci. As long as we're not getting that game, we're Gucci. You've also got Ole Miss, Vandy, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Tennessee at LSU. I think we probably do end up getting the noon game, honestly. So I'm really hoping and praying that is the case. And if it is the case, my game plan is to throw the watch party for the game at Carolina Ale House in Augusta, Georgia, because my sister's getting married in Augusta. So we might be able to swing this thing. We might be able to make this work in our favor. Stay tuned. We might be able to make this work in our favor. Kemper Keenan says, why is sister getting married on a game day? Kemper, that is a question that is beyond my understanding or reasoning. Apparently, the reason is this. Her and her fiance, that was the date of their first date, I believe, or at least close to that date. Also, I should make you all aware, her fiance is a Clemson graduate. So, we love him. Cameron's great, but that is a fact. So, it is what it is. I understand, Travis Lee. I understand you don't get married during football season, day before my birthday. Travis, I get it. We are respecting their decision to get married on a football Saturday. It is what it is. Joseph said, interesting fact, we have not played in Lexington during the day in a decade, and we haven't played in Gainesville at night in a decade. Can we please get something different this year? I think that could change. I definitely think that could change, Joseph. Good point, by the way. Good point. Yeah, those games against Kentucky, they always seem to be at night for some reason. Always. So I'm really praying the game's at noon because I just like to enjoy the wedding. I don't want to have to be the guy at the wedding with the phone, like just glued to the phone, trying to make content. Everybody's trying to talk, and you're like, sorry, man, glued to the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to be that guy. I want to be able to enjoy myself. But if I have to be that guy, I will be that guy. You know what we should – what would be funny? We could never swing it, though. I was thinking, like, I mean, there's just no way I could swing it. Do like a tape the game type deal. And it's like, all right, guys, I'm going to watch the game Sunday at like noon. I don't know the score. Nobody tell me. There's just no way, though, I could tweet through that. There's no way I could get through that without seeing the score. It'd be impossible. It'd literally be impossible. So, anyways, guys, hey, we're about to hit 2 o'clock. Appreciate you all tuning in. Thank you all so much, guys, for the continued love and support. Check out the podcast that did drop this morning. Really, really good stuff. Talking top 5 linebackers in South Carolina football history. And in case you missed my top 5, it looks like this. J.D. Fuller, number 5. Sky Moore, number 4. Jasper Brinkley, number 3. James Seawright, number 2. And Eric Norwood, number one. I told you guys on Wednesday, I wasn't just leaving Norwood off the list, that he would get his just due and his recognition, and certainly we did that today. Not Your Average Sports Kid said, just watch the Georgia Sim W. How about that, right? Head over to the Voice of College Football SEC to get your fill on that. Really, really good stuff. And guys, we will start our season simulation series end of July or so. We're starting it a little bit earlier this year just so it doesn't quite, last year I think I was doing a simulation like the night before kickoff. I don't want it to run that close to kickoff this year, maybe like a week before the first game. So anyways, that schedule will drop soon and we'll do that. Guys, appreciate you all tuning in. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you on Monday. Again, guys, thank you all so much for your love and support. Appreciate you sincerely. Have a great weekend. We'll talk to you